Where exactly is MJ?
I'm Sean Springs of the Washington Redskins, and I'm looking for MJ. Where's MJ?
Hi, I'm Cynthia DiLorenzi, and this is another fabulous episode of Where's MJ? The elusive question of Where's MJ? Actually, she's here in the studio with us, watching me to make sure I don't blow it, but I think I'm always delivering. Anyway, we are here today with Hazela Rollins-Levar, and we're continuing a discussion we've had on stroke and a foundation that she founded called Stroke of Hope, which was a stroke of genius. But let's begin with, how did you meet MJ? We were talking a minute ago. How did you meet MJ?
Well, it's a long story that I'll make really short. I was visiting with Luther's mother, Mrs. Vandross, and MJ was there, and we went on a shopping trip together to Bed Bath & Beyond. And we were all together, and it just, we hit it off. And we've stayed close friends ever since.
Oh my God, so I knew that there's a backstory here that you actually, through your foundation, supported the Vandross family, and
yes.
Luther in particular, but I didn't know that MJ also knew the Vandrosses, so
yes.
So it's always a small world how we all come
very
together.
Much so.
So let's backtrack a little bit back to that, because you had your stroke, and we shared a little bit about that and how debilitating it was and how you rebuilt your life.
Yes, I did.
But you did something that I think is just so incredible and speaks to you and your character. You set up a foundation to help other people confronted with the same debilitating experience. And I think what's really compelling about you, it's not only the person who has the stroke, but it's also the impact on all the people around them.
What we call the care partners or the support team. A lot of people say caregiver or taker, but you're not giving or taking. Actually, you're partnering with a person because it's affected your life as well. And that was the case with the Vandross family. When people have a stroke, such as the magnitude of Luther Vandross, you would imagine, oh, they'll have all the care that they need, there'll be all people that are attentive. And he did have a wonderful team of people, but they didn't understand stroke, like so many don't. They don't understand what the doctor is telling them in so many medical terms. They don't always know exactly what they need to do to motivate a person or to give them the kind of support that they need. Plus, the family needs their own support. So they reached out to me. One of his backup singers actually called me. She had seen Stroke of Hope on the internet. She had read my story. She saw that not only was I a stroke survivor, but I had been a professional singer. And she thought, well, Luther was a singer. So she called me up out of the clear blue and said that she had a friend. She didn't tell me who the friend was, that had had a massive stroke, and if I would come and speak with the team about stroke, about how I made a comeback, and just enlighten them somewhat. And when I got ready to hang up from her, I said, now what is your friend's name? And she said, Luther. And I said, Luther who? And she said, Luther Vandross. And I thought it was a prank call immediately. But then it turned out to be true. And I came to get along very well with him. He made significant progress from his stroke. He was doing very well. But the thing that happens so frequently, and this is what I'm saying, it levels the playing field for everyone, whether it's someone that's a star or someone that is not anybody particular, just your regular John Doe. The team is there for you at the onset, but then as you continue to progress or as you continue to linger, they fall away. Everybody has their own life and things that they want to do and have to do and need to do, and they begin to need more support. So that's where Stroke of Hope comes in. We try to culturally tailor what we do in terms of support. There's so many different homogenous cultures.
I think that when you're confronted with stroke, number one, you don't know how it happened.
Right.
You don't know how long, because sometimes people can recover.
Yes.
And resume pretty much normal life. Sometimes people never recover. Sometimes people halfway recover. So stroke is kind of this nebulous thing that we don't totally understand.
Correct. It's not a
what
heart
it means.
attack.
Yeah. So, and you don't know what that's going to be and the long-term outcome. I mean, like when you had your stroke, were they able to predict what your outcome was going to be?
No. When you ask the doctor what is the outcome going to be, they always answer, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. My husband said, is she going to die? They said, no, we have her stabilized. He said, well, what's going to be her status? And they said, we don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. So yes, you're right. It's that way with everybody. Each person is unique, and each stroke is unique. That goes along with that. There's another celebrity that we've worked with, the celebrity's family. That's Kirk Whalum. He is a jazz saxophonist that is internationally renowned. And he had played for Luther. His father had been having multiple strokes. He had over 40 strokes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they were TIAs, little strokes, mini strokes,
Okay.
but yet and still that's leading up to the big one, which eventually happened. But he reached out through Luther's people to me, and what's really interesting about the 6 degrees of separation is that Kirk studied with my mother, who was a music teacher at Texas Southern University, at the same time that I was in school at Spelman College studying with his uncle, Dr. Wendell P. Whalum. And we heard about each other, but we didn't know each other until he heard that name, Hazella Rollins LeVar, and he knew the Rollins part. So he reached out to me to help his dad. And that's become a match in heaven. He's now our international voice of hope. When you go on our website, you hear his music playing in the background.
I did. I went outside. It's fabulous, you know.
And he actually had a wonderful event where he was taping. He was taping the Gospel According to Jazz Volume 3 in Bethesda, Maryland, Silver Springs, actually, Maryland. And there were over 5,000 people there. It was just an amazing thing. And Stroke of Hope is very present. If you buy that CD or DVD, then you get to see and hear him talk about the organization.
That's incredible, how the lives you've touched and how other people who have the opportunity to touch other lives. What is the first sign of stroke? Is it the same? First sign of stroke, that you may be having a stroke.
If you have a sudden onset of a headache, or your words become slurred, you see a side of a person's face begin to drop, or they start to become immobilized, you really need to act fast.
And what does acting fast mean? What should you do?
Well, there is FAST, stands for, it's an acronym. F is for the face, A is for the arms, holding your arms out and seeing if you can keep them level.
Okay.
S is for the speech.
Okay.
If you ask them to say good morning, it's a sunny day and it comes out, good morning, then you know something's wrong. And the T is time, and that's what you're asking about. Time is of the essence. They now have drugs that are super clot busters that not everyone is available. It's not available to everyone. But if you do have a clot, then if you get the person there within a 3 to 5 hour window to the hospital, they can give an injection and bust that clot, and you will have little or no residual effects from the stroke.
That is great to know. I also hear that you should take an aspirin when you're suspecting a heart attack. Same thing true for a stroke?
Yes,
can it help a little?
Yes, it is. It can help. In fact, doctors say that would probably have dismissed my symptoms had I taken aspirin. But because I was breastfeeding and the baby was new, then I was taking ibuprofen and Motrin.
Think a young mother would have a stroke.
I didn't take aspirin.
I want to thank you for sharing this. Number one, you've shared us a fascinating story about your journey, the lives you've touched that are sharing and touching more lives. Action, fast. I love that. I've never heard of that term related. So remember, put this in your mind. Act fast and think about your face, your arms, your speech, and time. Okay, I love that. That is incredible. I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you found this show to be as interesting and fascinating as I did. Hazella is an incredible person. Please go to strokeofhope.net where you will learn more about stroke, resources, knowledge, information. Great music's on the background. Seems to be a prevalent journey in your life, a prevalent message. So I want to thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hazella. It's been fabulous.